Hey everyone, welcome back, and this is my review. It took me long enough to actually get to this again. This is my review of Hyperdimension Neptunia, the animation, episode 7. Yeah, that's right, 7. Entitled, oh shit, forgot to go. Okay, try it, hold on a sec. Now, lots to talk about, so alright, episodes. Yeah, I got a lot to talk about, so I should really hurry up here. It's entitled The Fruit's Deep Purple of Revenge. So yeah, so I want to apologize for not making this, for not making another episode review in a while. Both this and Dog and Scissors I've kind of been neglecting, because although I like the series, I don't think either one of them are that great, honestly. Right now I've already had like 2 series, Blood Lad and Brothers Conflict, that are already finished. I've even made my reviews for them and everything, so hopefully I can get the rest of these episodes out, as well as the rest of Dog and Scissors episodes out fairly quickly. I'm not exactly sure how long it'll take, but I want to get this done. This is the last time I'm taking on like 13 or 14 fucking series at a time. Actually, I think it's 13. If I would have kept up with Rosen Maid in 2013, then it would have been 14, but yeah, it's the last time I'm doing that, probably. God. I mean, it's still fun, but it's exhausting. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyways, I've wasted 2 minutes of your time. Let's get into the summary. So this episode basically starts out with Neptune, Compa, Histore, Nepgear, and Pishi sitting around a table eating along with their new friend Plutia. Compa announces her as the new CPU of Planet Poon, to which Neptune dislikes because it sounds like she's replacing herself as the CPU. It's also revealed that, like all CPUs, Plutia is able to transform, but she's always told not to for some reasons which she herself is oddly unsure about. We then get a humorous scene with everyone trying to get Neptune to eat a piece of eggplant, and her constantly refusing. And during the scuffle, Alfiore and Rat are watching them from the shadows. And of course, from the shadows, I mean around the corner in the same fucking room as them. The next scene is with Histore and another character. Not exactly sure what her name is. And they're talking about how Histore sent Plutia to this dimension, and that the other character didn't even know other dimensions existed, let alone that you could travel to them. Histore says that they detected a large flow of energy from our dimension to theirs. She thinks something or someone moved there. Whatever it is, it holds so much energy that if they let it go, our world might run out of enough energy to sustain itself. That's why they need Plutia to look for whatever went missing and bring it back. The other character asks how one would go about searching for this thing. Histore responds by saying that she's spent 3 days searching for that, but to no avail. She says that all they can do now is try to stay on top of any changes that happens in their world. If any kind of upheaval takes place, they should be able to find what we seek nearby, ending their conversation. At the same time that this is going on, the scenes periodically switching between one another. There's a humorous scene with Neptune and Pishi eating pudding. When Pishi spills her pudding all over her plate, Neptune laughs at her for it, earning herself a punch in the face from Pishi. The next scene is with Histore informing Neptune, Nepgear, Plutia, Pishi, Compa, and If, about what went on previously, although Compa and If seem to be the only ones actually listening. Plutia then shows a doll that she made in the likeness of Neptune, which Neptune herself loves to death. She then says she'll make one for Pishi and then for Nepgear, but she is about to start making one for Pishi and she spontaneously falls asleep. Think you understand this character perfectly so far? Well, trust me, you don't, honestly. Then, when Compa and If are out on If's motorbike, a mysterious person causes them to crash, revealing themselves to be none other than A Fiore and the Rat. And yes, I'm still going to keep calling him the Rat because no one else seems to give him a name, who captures both of them. Nepgear then gets a telegraph-like message from some mysterious sender who shows a picture of the captured If, so it's obviously A Fiore who sent it, and the goddesses sets out to save them. Meanwhile, If, who is being held in an eggplant field, is being tortured by A Fiore using eggplants because she overheard how much goddesses seem to hate eggplants. However, luckily, just in time, Neptune and Nepgear transformed, and Plutia not transformed, comes to her rescue. Hold on a second. Alright. However, before they can get close enough, Neptune ends up transforming back because she can't stand the smell of the eggplants. Meanwhile, we see that Compa is in some other field with the Rat watching over her because of his misguided, and I do mean misguided, crush on her. After that, we go back to the battle. After this is where it gets really dumb. Alright, A Fiore throws some eggplants up at the goddesses, and they transform into live eggplants holding spears and riding on flying horses. Seriously? Jeez, that is so fucking dumb. Couldn't they come up with something better than that? Anyways, when the goddesses are busy fighting them off, Plutia eventually gets more serious, being sick of If being tormented like that, and transforms herself, revealing herself as Ira's heart, and she joins the fight. Now this is where it actually gets really funny. This somehow inspires Neptune to transform again and take out the rest of the eggplants along with Nepgear, and Plutia is, well, basically kicking A Fiore's ass. After that, we get another scene with Compa and the Rat, which is honestly too dumb to discuss. So, I think. Then we go back to the battle with A Fiore basically beat to shit on the ground, with Plutia ridiculing her for being too weak. Histore then reveals a new power which basically turns her into a giant fucking eggplant, which for obvious reasons the goddesses are not impressed by at all. Would you be? This is so dumb. We then get another stupid scene with Compa and the Rat, which is honestly starting to creep me out. So moving on. After she deals with A Fiore once and for all, Plutia heads to take care of the Rat and then transforms back, seeming to have no memories of what just happened. So now we basically know why she's told to not transform ever, and everyone, including her, heads back home. When they get back, Pishi, having not even been involved in the previous battle, obviously, requests eggplants to eat, much to Neptune's disdain for obvious reasons. If shows her newfound hate for eggplants too, because of what just happened to her, you know. The final scene is with Afiore, who is becoming an eggplant farmer now, the rat joining her because neither of them have anywhere else left to go, and that basically ends what happened in this episode. Okay, let's rip into this. This episode was dumb. There were funny parts in it. You know, it wasn't all shit, but this episode was just dumb. I mean, using I hate eggplants too. I really do, but using them as something like the main fucking weapon in a battle because fucking Neptune is having trouble fighting because you can't stand the smell of them. Not to mention torturing If with the eggplants, that's just dumb. Not to mention no consistency either, because immediately when Plutia starts fighting, Neptune's able to transform again and start fighting, and even though they're still eggplants. I just don't get that. I mean, sorry. It's just dumb, and like I said, there's a few funny points in this episode, but for the most part, I just thought it was really dumb. One thing I do have to wonder, though, is that, you know, like, we know that in this episode, Plutia didn't have any memories of transforming, alright, for some reason. Maybe she's like, actually, I don't know, honestly, but, like, we know that whenever a goddess transforms, they tend to have a different personality, so that's why I figured, you know, that their normal selves aren't really conscious when they transform, and when they transform back, their memory is very hazy. But it was confirmed in this episode that that's actually not true, because when they transformed back, they remembered how scary that Plutia was while transformed, even though she didn't remember transforming. So I don't know, I think that's kind of weird. Yeah, overall, really, there's a few good parts in this episode, but for the most part it was really dumb, and I was not impressed at all. So yeah, anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.